Ek Kay's Singapore was a feast for the senses. This was the world he sought to convey through his art.
To me, Chinese painting is conceptual art. They are observing the changes in nature, the form, the structure. After some time, they would say that is a process of digestion. Digest the understanding of the nature. And from there, they produce a work. Maybe adding their own personal characters, the artist's feeling, the artist's understanding. Myself and AK spend a lot of time in just watching to feel the change of the nature. I wouldn't say this is by memory. This is reproducing through the idea, perceptually, observation, and conceptually, thinking.
This approach, conceptual rather than representational, was striking to the artist's young son.
When I was young, I would just wonder sometimes, why is everything, it seems out of focus, like it lacks photo finish definition. Right now, when I think back on the experiences with my father and the places that we've walked past, and I've sort of come to realize that maybe he was trying to, convey a certain sense of, mystique or haziness due to, time. Your memory doesn't really give you that much detail when you recall a certain location.
A sense of change with the passage of time is inescapable in Singapore. Ek Kay felt the force of urbanisation as traditional buildings made way for a new cityscape.
As part of growing up in Singapore, there is a sense of anxiety about loss of cultural identity, part of urbanization and modernization and all that. And for an artist, one will be very sensitive about time and changes and holding on over a longer period of time. And in Chinese art, it's kind of easy to do that because, you start talking about Song Dynasty artists and Ming Dynasty artists and so on, and your reference points would easily go back to 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, so on and so forth. And AK was doing a lot of this, trying to look back and look at how painting was done and what it means to try to capture what is current, what is, what you see around you, and yet referencing back to this earlier framework of aesthetics, of some basic human values that may be captured through the paintings over time.
Ek Kay's street scenes were the result of this search for contemporary expression using traditional forms. But this fusion of the traditional and the modern brought a deep inner struggle for Ek Kay.
When we first learned Chinese ink painting with him, actually he was teaching us Chinese ink tradition, the brush, the ink work, and so on. And he himself was also trained in the traditional ink painting. But he was trying to find something else. And in trying to find something to break out of that tradition, I think there was a conflict within him, a big conflict, because that was the time when he felt if he went a little bit further away from the tradition of Chinese ink painting, would the community accept it?
Sometimes they say, am I a traitor? He asked that question, and I thought, oh well, you can't be too serious. No, you can't be a traitor by just being a modern artist. He had asked questions like, am I so-called betraying my tradition if I were to do something that's more modern? And we said, as long as the elements of Chinese ink and brush are there, it is still a Chinese ink painting.